Hi and welcome to this, the second in our 3 in 3 series where we look at 3 important issues in communications in just 3 minutes. And this time I wanted to talk about B2B communications, about the important role of trying to help one business talk to another business to ultimately increase sales. And the 3 areas I wanted to talk about was about the preoccupation in press releases, what constitutes actual news. The second area was about making sure you're communicating using the right routes to those potential audiences. So if you're not talking to consumers, why do you want to use consumer communications techniques? And the third area is talking about content. It's all about making sure you're building relationships based on being able to provide solid information that's of value to potential customers. It's about getting the content right. So starting in number 1, let's talk about press releases. Because a lot of people think that B2B communications is just about press releases. Well, it's not. Actually, a press release is a tool which should be used to try and get across news. And you need to be hard on yourself about what constitutes news. Too frequently, when we've got new clients, they'll phone us up and say, we've got a great story. Can you issue a press release? And you'll go, well, what is it? And they'll say something like, hey, we've got a new website. And you go, well, that's not news. And the way you test whether it's news is really you should be saying to yourself, when was the last time you saw that story with banner headlines in the trade magazines? How many times have you seen a banner headline in your key trade magazine saying, Company X has launched a new website? Well, the answer is you won't have seen it because it never happens. Because what people are interested in is genuine news. So be hard with yourself. What constitutes news? Now, the second area was this area about why there's a preoccupation in trying to recreate consumer-focused communications techniques in the B2B sector. Because actually what works for consumers does not necessarily work for businesses. And too often we get some of our new clients who'll be saying to us, can we set up a new Facebook page, or should we be doing more tweets and really using Twitter to a greater extent? And the question we're going to be asking you is to say, is that the right channel to get your message across to your audience? And more often than not, it's not. You should be using more traditional forms of techniques. And again, you should be saying to yourself, as businessmen, how frequently do you use those channels to gain important information that would influence your behavior? And the answer will be very infrequently. And the final area was talking about that area about thought leadership, about the content. And that's where we say to our clients, what we try to do is to get them to think about genuine value information. Having things to say which will be of real interest to people in their sector, not actually using sales speak. It's not about promoting product X by saying it's fantastic, it's shiny, it works better than the previous one. It's talking about the issues that are relevant to your industry, which demonstrates you understand your sector well, and in that way you can raise awareness and set a credibility foundation that will help you to establish good sales relationships in the future. And that's really all I wanted to say in this video. But if you want, you can always go on our website, and if you look in the archive section, you'll find an interview that we did with quite an outspoken editor from a trade magazine who makes it very clear how she's unhappy with a lot of the communications she sees and what she thinks is good B2B communications. So do have a look. Okay, I'll see you next time for our next in the 3 in 3 series, which will be the last of 3 in 3. Thank you.